Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Sunday Satsang, and welcome to all of those who are online this morning. This morning, I'd like to read from Whispers from Eternity, and in honor of Repentance Day, I would like to read Master's poem of My India. This is the poem that Master was saying to the group of people at the Biltmore Hotel the moment that he went into his samadhi. And this is for us. Not where, this is called My India, not where the musk of happiness blows, not in lands where darkness and fears never tread, not in homes where unceasing smiles reign, nor in heaven, nor prosperous lands would I be born. If once more I must assume a mortal garb, 1,000 famines may rack my body, waste my flesh, and leave me prostrate. Yet would I be born again in Hindustan. 1,000,000 thieves of disease may steal my flesh, and clouds of fate send scalding showers of searing sorrow. Yet would I prefer in India to reappear. In this love of mine a blind sentiment, is this love of mine a blind sentiment, spurning reason's guidance? Far from it. I love India, because it was there I first learned to love God in all things beautiful. Her sages taught that one should seek the self, beyond the ash heaps of discarded bodies, beyond the brief, ephemeral incarnations we live, decked out and connected with good work. In many a land, secure in power and plenty, efficiently sustained by science, my soul, whether garbed in Oriental or Occidental body, traveled far and wide o'er the earth, ever stumbling inside fulfilled. If mortal fires razed all Indian homes and desiccated the petty fields, yet would I rather sleep on that dust, dreaming eternity, than sit on a proud throne amid royal pomp. O India, I would starve in your poor villages in preference to entertaining kings in marble mansions. Invasions have swept over Indians' wasted lands. Boastful conquerors have strutted their proud victories, scoffing at all they saw. They commanded abject homage. Yet, has the soul of India been unconquered by any tyrant? Her independent soul has stood firm. Never will she lose her inner freedom. Her defending soldiers are her saints and rishis, who routed ignorance with calm wisdom, universal understanding, and ever clear perception of the truth. The posturing puppets sent by foreign governments to impose a new way of action, thought, belief, marauders, barren hatred, prejudice, and country's pride could never weaken the important inspiring ever a vision of oneness, universality, and brotherhood among all children of our one Father. My Western brothers, with material might, have overwhelmed my name. Now loudly blow your conscious awe. India soon will launch a new return invasion. Its weapons will consist of kindness, truth, and love. Its ancient wisdom will amaze the West, the whole world. Better I love thee, my India, than heaven or Acadia, and thy love I will share with every brother nation that accepts my offering. God made man made its confining countries with their fancy frozen boundaries. Love, however, imported from infinity, will inspire equally all true souls everywhere. My India's borderland embraces the whole world. Hail, thou mother of religions, lotus, scenic beauties, and great sages. Thy doors are open wide to welcome God's true sons from every corner of the earth. Where Ganges, woods, mine caves, and man dream God, I am empowered my body touched that sea. And so India gave to the West its greatest resource, its greatest treasure, the blessing of Ananda and these great masters who come to awaken souls in the West that were yearning for God, that had nowhere to go, and had embraced materialism, thinking that was the way, had embraced egoism and fighting and militarism and all of this, and had gotten way, way, way on the team. But India lent Ananda to us, and the open hearts thing. And he brought these teachings to the West, and they're open of the world. And he brought Kriya Yoga. And he brought these great masters of self-revelation and their teachings, not only their teachings, but the vibration of love. When Swamiji came to India, back to India to give back, he was up in Gurdwara. He talked constantly, and almost every single time, he talked about, dear India, don't get caught in Western ways. Keep your spiritual condition. Keep your hearts open to divine knowledge. And bathe in the knowledge that this land is drenched with the love of God because of the saints and rishis that have lived here. Don't forget them. What a blessing to be born into a country that has already open arms to the devotion and love of divine mother. Don't forget that. And he would say it over and over, almost in every poem. And he would say there doesn't have to be this mad rush to turn into the West. There doesn't have to be that, because we have everything we need right here in India. Because when you seek God first, all good things will come to you. The kingdom of God is within the Indian soul most, the Indian essence. And it's not hyperbole to say that India is the guru of the world, because it is. And why? It's because the souls that were born here, the saints, think of all of them. I can only name a few, the ones on the altar. Master Ramakrishna, Yogi Ramaya, Ramana Maharshi, Ananda Ma, you name it. Big biography of yogis. These souls that came, they not only found God, but they shared God. And they came right at the end of Kali Yuga, and they came right at the beginning of Bangalore, where the light is a little bit brighter. Kali Yuga is holding on. There's a lot of violence and resistance, moving into this new age. But the saints were already in God. And they brought that blessing. And so don't be fooled by the mirage and the delusion of the success of the West. Success of the seven affirmation is transcendence. Transcendence from your own ego. That it matters not what the world is doing, but the transcendence of your own selfishness, of your own ego, of your own this is the way I want it for me. My life is just for me. I'm gonna have this for me. Transcendence means no. Giving the little self in divine mother and transcending the ego and realizing that we're all one. That we are all brothers and sisters. There's no way that we can be separate. There's no way that we can have discrimination and hatred. India knows that. And I say India, but I mean the souls in India that have been drawn to this country because there's a special dharma in India. There's a special dharma to bring this vibration out into the world. This is what Master is about. And this is what we're about. And whether we think we're Indian or Western or whatever, it doesn't really matter. It's the vibration of the saints and the believers. But we need to make our own very deep meditation through seva, through Kriya Yoga, through selfless service. You need to make those saints come alive in our lives today. They weren't just years ago. I know that many times people would say, when we talk about starting a community and all the things, oh, but that's me. And people used to say to Swami all the time, oh, but that's Master. Only he could do that. But what about me? What can I do? But Master brought into this world the concept of how to do this. How to do this. He made it very. It wasn't just doing puja once a week and thinking that you're going to find God. He gave us practical ideas and actual things to do so that we can in this life if we choose. We don't know, we have our lives and everything seems so real. Everything seems so immediate. And we have to be stressed and we have to get our kids into that school and we have to think about our security and we have to do all these things. We have to get that job. Oh my God, if I don't get that job, everything seems so real. But without God, it's totally unreal. Nothing is real. Nothing. Swami used to love to tell the story of Ananda. And Narda and his guru were sitting on the beach and he just asked his guru, what is the nature of delusion? What is the nature of life? And the guru thought for a moment and said, Narda, we can drink of water. Okay. So we walked down the beach and he saw this place and he knocked on the door. And a beautiful woman answered him. Beautiful, lovely, the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. Ananda immediately was welcomed by the family, went into the house, got married, became part of the family, had several children, was living a wonderful life. He had land, he was working land, very prosperous. And then there was a flood. And the Ganges came rushing into the village and washed away his house. His house was gone, relatives were gone. His wife and his 2 children were swept away by the current. And he was with them. He had one child on his back, he was holding on to his wife's hand, and his wife was holding on to the boy's hand. And the river was rushing, and one of the little boys that was holding on to the mother's hand let go. He was suffering. And then the mother was holding on. She tripped on a rock and trying so desperately to save her life. And she was taken away and drowned. And then the little boy on his back slipped off, lost his strength, was swept away by the wind. And Narada was so despondent. He just wanted to just give it all up. And he said, what's there to live for? There's nothing to live for. So he too just let himself be taken by the wind. And then all of a sudden he was on a river bank. And he heard this voice, far and coming closer and closer. Looks like that's that whole dream, the whole scheme was in his own mind. And we create our own lives in our own mind. But if you stick with the Guru, when you stay close to God, and you keep your attunement, and you practice his teachings, and you practice being over and depth and devotion, and you know that this is a dream. The more you meditate, the more you know it's a dream. You can just step back. It gives you the power. Meditation gives you the power to just step back and see it. Okay, this is a dream. I'm acting this way. This is happening outside of me. No, we have power in ourselves. And if we have God within us, and God without us, and God in our mind, and God in our heart, and God in our acts, there will be no mistakes. We will live out our journey with God, and we will go into the light at the end of our lives, and the Guru will be there in practice. The Guru promised that he would be there. And so, in India, this is a practice incarnation. This is a practice incarnation. And not only India, but I'm speaking about India because I think You don't want to lose what's already here. You don't have to recreate the wheel anymore. This is in the soil. This is in your cells. This is in your soul. And you have inclinations of knowing and wisdom to be able to understand these. Many people will never hear about it who would decide relationship, free yoga. But what a blessing for those of us who do and have and live. And so I really feel that when Master said at that garden party, my words are written on the ether. We should go north, south, east, and west and create small spiritual communities. We should do that. And then we will be able to find God together. This is a new concept. This is a Dwapara Yuga idea. Swami was there. He heard him say that at the garden party. There were 700 people there. And Swami's the one. And he didn't just go out and call a real estate agent and say, I'd like to buy a spiritual community. I'll need a church, and I'll need a temple, and I'll need housing, and I'll need, water and electricity. He went to this land, a seclusion retreat, that's my work. And also, our guest here has been at the seclusion retreat first. Nothing there. And he started. That's what he did, he started. But what sustained Swami during these early years? What sustained him? His love of his guru and knowing that his guru is guiding him. That sustained him. The guru just sustains us. I'm not saying we all need to go out in the country and start a community, but I am saying that if we are really following the guru's teachings and his guidance, then we need to have satsang. We need to share our lives with him. We need to meditate deeply, practice Kriya Yoga the way it's deeply. Really, really take it to heart. And then share those lessons with other gurus. That's the start of community. It's not rocket science, but it is a new way of thinking. Because when you dedicate your life to God and you dedicate your life to the guru, he might ask you to do things like he's with you. He's never going to ask you to do anything that is too much for you. Why would he? He said in that letter to his disciples right before he died, I will never give up my vow about you. So that means whatever we're doing, wherever we find ourselves, whatever karma we're experiencing at the moment, we will never give up my vow. Absolutely. Reassuring us. Just take baby steps towards that goal. In Pune, they have this beautiful community already. They have this apartment house. They found 6 or 7 apartments. The Guru Bhais rented the apartments, and they rented an extra one so that they could have a temple and meeting place and all. And they helped each other with the rent, and there's roommates and there's families. It's really a wonderful concept. It's a wonderful concept. The beginning of a spiritual community. But just think of it, getting up every morning, getting on the computer, looking at the news, telling your kids, get off the school after running around like a chicken who had cut off and then work and get cut off. It's a little frustrating to think about every single day. That's their day. I know, I'm mom. But just think of it the other way. There is an alternative. What if you lived in a community, any community, even close to the center? Small group of devotees living together. You get out early, all the way to you centered, you feel the Guru's presence, you feel the joy within your heart, you're aligned. So this is the thing that we need to look forward to. This is a recommendation from that. This is what Swami has been telling us. And right before Swami left his body, he came to India and he did all these talks and TV programs and all of that. But then he went around to all the major cities. He went to Mumbai and Pune and Delhi and Gurgaon and Chennai and Bangalore at that time. And then a few months after he left Bangalore, he left his heart. It was like he was, and then when he was with us, we did this big talk. There was 1,500 people in the hall, and everybody came to see Swami, and we sang. It was wonderful. But, then we went out to dinner with him afterwards. He didn't give us one word of advice. Now what do we do? We have all these people, and it's this teeny little place where we're living. What do we do? And not one word of advice. One word of advice. And then and so we just started. We didn't know. I mean, we could just do what we thought we should do. So we just started teaching and what we did. And then we took Korea, and then more people came and more people came. But why did they come? Not because of Haridas and me. It was because of Master. Master set the tone. And this is his vision for the new age. He wants people to have satsang in spiritual community. No matter what it looks like, there's no form. It's wide open, he's so creative. But he wanted people to be able to share in their spiritual life and serve God together and to find God. And to realize in India that the priorities kind of going off the wrong end. The priorities need to come back. We need to find God together. And it's going to be easier in India because everybody's already halfway there. I like to say we're all halfway saints, but we're there already. We already know. We know in our soul this. So I wanted to share, and you can stay overnight. It's nice. And it's wonderful, and we want you to come and experience meeting comfort serve, but a living situation, day to day, minute by minute. The minutes are more important than the hours. Think of them. Think of that. And don't put it off too long and wait for somebody else to do it. That's the thing. When I first came to Ananda, I had a good life when I came, but I was desperate for spiritual life. And I was desperate for guidance and God. I really had this yearning in my heart to, what is my purpose? So I prayed and prayed. And it's a long story short, I found it. I walked into the bookstore in Palo Alto, and there was somebody, and they were the good vibes. And I was just feeling so out of it and lonely and disconnected in this. In that door. Honestly, I've never had an experience like that. I know it was home. It's like my cells just radiated home. I don't need to look anymore. Just. And so I started coming to classes and at the center, and then they had this ashram, and I was just passing by this wonderful friend in the kitchen. I said, "What does it take to move in?" And she said, "Oh, you just move in. We have to go to the civil door, want some references, or my past right? Just move in. We'll have a private room." So there was a private room, but there was another woman in the room, and there was just a wall. There was a dresser between us. So my side was part of the side. It wasn't really private room, but and so then I thought, just move in. And then it was like, oh my God, there's no barriers. I mean, I thought there would be some process. Like they would think it through and pray to God and how feel the guidance and all of this. But she said, "Well, you better hurry up because it's raining." This, we want this, but if I wait, I'm not going to get it. So I stayed up one night praying. And I had this dream, and I'll share it with you because it was so amazing, the timing of it. And it was so vivid, just so vivid. And I went to bed, and I was all disgruntled, and what should I do? I had this dream. And in this dream, there was this beautiful archway, the doorway to the church. But it was a large archway, and it was flowers and beautiful mosaic in the archway. And there was light pouring out of that archway in the church. And within that archway were hundreds of faces. And the people went way back into the church, but there was this group right under the archway, and there was light pouring out of their faces. And they were beckoning me. They were just, come on, come on, come on. And I realized when I woke up, that was a sign to my little eyes. And this is true. Later on, after I moved to Ananda many years, something hit me. Excuse me. And was talking to somebody, really good friend. He was in my friend. He's one of the ones that was in the front row. I didn't see anything. And I thought, wow, all we have to do is just take those steps. All we have to do is trust and transcend all those thoughts that are saying, don't do it, you're not worthy, it's not financially feasible. Everything that everybody will tell you, my family, my relatives, this, that, the economy, just go. And you will find that everything opens up for you. Everything opens up in ways that you never could have imagined. Beautiful friends come into your life, beautiful opportunities, ways to serve, so much joy. You know, now millions of people all over the planet just have courage. Say, oh, I know how, I know what. You wanted to serve this food. So you wanted to, and that's really wanted to do. So for each one of us, it's really important to take Swami's life within and Master's life within, and meditate on what is our guide in this life. We can confess, it's flying by, but I'm so happy as a this and that. I'm so happy that I didn't think it all through, you know, and I didn't put any barriers. Okay, this is fine. And I just moved in. And I never looked back. And that could be for all of us. I'm not just saying that this is a success story and you should follow my lead, but you should follow your heart. And you should follow your own soul's journey. And if you're a Priyaban and you're a disciple of Master, and you're on this path, there's something really special. And it's not all mapped in. And that's the beauty of it. It's creative. We make it as we go. This is what Ananda does. How do you do that? I don't know. Let's just try it. It's such joy living like that. One other thing I wanted to say, somebody said that, you know, she couldn't move to the community because her work was close to the house. But the center was far away. And I said, well, what if your center was, it's always, oh no, this is for me and I don't have to go out of the house and do that. In the traffic to go see the center and you're all bedraggled and you're playing out the center and it's so hard in the center. Shit. That's all you have to do. Move closer to the center. Go get that apartment house with other families. Start living the spiritual life together. Start sleeping together. Start meditating together. You'll never want to go back together. And there's another thing too, people always say, well, my relatives and my mother, my uncle, my aunt, my father, my grandfather, my, it's a whole line of relatives. I say, bring them with you. Rent them an apartment in your house. They will benefit. Your children will benefit. Children being raised around devotees. What? The vibration, joy, harmony, and love around little children that are so sensitive. Don't you want your kids to be raised like that? So think about them. Think about the future. It's not about us. The more we can think in terms of, what can I do something? What can I really have? Let's show you. Let's show you. It'll be very obvious. And then take those steps. And then you'll see that self-realization is not something. And you'll know beyond the shadow of a doubt. that you have some home, that you call you to home, that you call you to home, and make a temple for Divine Mother in your soul. And that is your home, and it's supported by all the people that have the same home. So happy Republic Day to all of you, and God bless you. And it's our joy to be here in India with all of you. So.